A New Year's night crash takes a woman's life and injures two other people. We'll tell you what we've learned about the victim.
Sunshine giving way to a little bit of a wintry mix as we track a wild weekend of weather into the Bluegrass State.
And police make a third arrest in the death of a woman hit by a stray bullet. How police say the suspect was involved in the crime.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Happy New Year to you and welcome to WKYT News at 4. It is cold and it is sunny out there today, but we have some big weather changes on the way. They include everything from some snow possibly to storms and some warmer temperatures. We begin with WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey and a look at what could be a wild forecast. How about it?
Yeah, Amber, it doesn't look like 2015 is going to be holding a whole lot back as we open up the first weekend of the new year. And late on this New Year's Day, Happy New Year's, by the way, to everybody out there. A little cloud cover beginning to creep on into town. We've had some clouds on and off throughout the day. Hazy sunshine right now in Lexington, but a cold sun at 37 degrees. Winds are gusting up to 14 miles an hour. Wind chill is down to 28. That's what it feels like. And the feel-like numbers are still in the upper 20s across most of central and eastern Kentucky. A live first alert defender. Nothing is going on as of now. Clouds continue to thicken up the farther west and southwest that we go. Moisture is getting into western Tennessee, back into parts of the Ozarks. This is the initial surge that is heading our way as we go into the next couple of days, but it's the leading edge of that may try to throw a touch of a wintry mix into parts of the region late tonight and certainly into our Friday. That's a healthy slug of moisture that is coming from the Pacific, now getting some Gulf of Mexico moisture into that system as well. So here's what we're tracking. That wintry mix as we go into tomorrow could be a touch of some rain, some sleet, maybe a little freezing rain. Right now, the operative word on all that is light. Wild weekend of weather and then Arctic air sets its sights on the Bluegrass State over the course of the next week. Amber, 7-day forecast does take a walk on the wild side in about 15 minutes.
All right, we will see you then, Chris. Thank you. The new year is off to a deadly start on Kentucky's roads. One woman is dead, two others injured after a crash in Madison County. It happened about 1 this morning on 4 Mile Road near Dunbar Lane. This afternoon, we're learning more about the victim. WKYT's Victor Puente has our top story at 4.
This crash spread debris across the field behind me. The young woman who was killed was from Richmond. A family friend tells me this has been devastating. The crash happened just after 1 a.m. this morning. The sheriff's office says 3 people were inside the car heading east on 4 Mile Road when the driver lost control. The car went off the road, flipped several times, and all 3 people were thrown from the vehicle. The coroner said 22-year-old Chelsea Harnack died at the scene. The man and woman in the car with her were taken to UK Hospital. A pastor who knows the family well told me Chelsea grew up in his church. He said the loss has been devastating.
There's that aspect of youth that says these kinds of things just don't happen to young people, and they do every day. But our young people are certainly overwhelmed and shocked. But the family is, I think, traumatized is an appropriate term at this moment.
Investigators haven't said who was driving the vehicle, but they do believe high speed played a factor in this crash. In Madison County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
And right now, we don't know the names of the other 2 people who were in that crash. Police say one of them has life-threatening injuries. In our other top stories at 4, a truck driver had to be airlifted to UK after crashing into a home overnight. The crash happened on Clifty Street in Somerset around 1 a.m. Police say the driver went through a stop sign, hit an embankment, went airborne, and landed on top of the house. A 92-year-old woman was inside the home but was not hurt. Police have made a third arrest in a Clark County murder case. Aaron Staley is charged with murder in the December 23rd death of Amber Cottle. Investigators say Staley and 2 other men broke into an apartment on Oxford Drive and ended up in a gunfight. A stray bullet went into Cottle's apartment and killed her. 3 other people were also shot. Our reporters are working on a number of other stories this afternoon. Let's get a check now of the news that's in progress. A southern Kentucky woman says she hit and killed 2 horses in the middle of the Cumberland Falls Parkway in Corbin yesterday morning. She tells us she didn't see the horses until it was too late. Now she needs help tracking down the owner of the animals. The reason coming up on WKYT News at 4:30. Each week, our investigative team brings you in-depth stories from around the area. On this New Year's Day, we are taking a look back at the best investigations of 2014. Join us for our special WKYT Investigates coming up at 5:30. And during basketball season, thousands pack Rupp Arena to watch their Cats play. For many people, going to the game is no big deal, something they'd never think twice about. But for one fan from Frankfurt, watching his Cats in person wasn't always that simple. Find out what kept him away for so long on WKYT News at 6. And that's a look at just some of the news that's in progress this afternoon. Bad weather is slowing down recovery efforts in the crash of Air Asia Flight 8501. Investigators have about 25 days until the so-called black boxes run out of batteries, making them much more difficult to find. Stacey Cohan is tracking the situation.
An array of flowers adorn these hastily constructed caskets. They carry the bodies of the few crash victims recovered from the Java Sea. Religious leaders offer prayers and support as families arrive to identify loved ones. The body of the flight captain has not yet been recovered. His family's mourning is tempered by the smallest hope for a miracle. They speak of him in the present tense.
He is kind, wise, and humorous. He's easygoing, he's intelligent, he never raises his voice. He's never angry. I'm very proud of him.
The mayor of Surabaya, from where the plane took off, says many families are still praying for a miracle.
I'm very concerned and worried if they don't find the bodies, and I have to be strong because they may still think they're still alive.
But bad weather is making the search for additional victims more difficult. And those same storms may also hamper efforts to find the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder before their locator beacon batteries are depleted in about 25 days.
There in the tail section, if we had an in-flight breakup and the tails do come off sometimes in thunderstorms, that could be many miles away from the rest of the floating debris and the submerged debris.
Those left in limbo continue to mourn, to pray, and to build more caskets. I'm Stacey Cohan reporting.
More than 150 people are still missing from Air Asia Flight 8501. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. 3 people died in an apartment fire in New York City early this morning. Firefighters rescued the victims from the 9th floor and rushed them to the hospital, but it was too late. 5 firefighters also suffered injuries fighting the flames. Investigators don't know right now what caused that fire. Southern California is experiencing near freezing temperatures today. The wintry blast made for one of the coldest ever rose parades in the event's 126-year history. The storm also dumped snow, making driving difficult from California to the Rockies. People who live in the region are happy about this rare taste of winter.
This is not supposed to happen in Wildomar. Nobody knows Wildomar for a reason. So now we're like, we don't want to be famous for freak storms.
The same system brought snow to Arizona and New Mexico. Slick conditions have also made highways dangerous from Texas to Oklahoma. It is looking more likely former Florida Governor Jeb Bush will make a run for the White House. Bush has resigned from all of his remaining board memberships. Those include his own education foundation. The move does not affect business interests where he's a principal partner or owner. Bush announced his intention to actively explore a run for the White House last month. And check out this mess in Times Square following last night's New Year's Eve celebration. An estimated 1 million people packed the area to ring in 2015. An army of street cleaners moved in after the ball drop to haul away 50 tons of trash. 1 ton of all that trash was confetti alone.